Get it on.
Are we sponsored? Are we live and sponsored?
We are sponsored today by your mother.
Dunkin' Donuts and Truly.
And Truly's.
I don't give a fuck. We're not gonna give a fuck.
Manliest drink
of the summer.
On the summer for the past 2 summers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is the Gawncast.
We gone.
We gone. So it's been a long time, and it's safe to say that we have been gone.
24 hours.
Nothing like a double entendre. We tried yesterday, but what we're gonna have to do here is if we broadcast this and put the audio up on different platforms, which is our
It's a work in progress.
This is a work in progress. We're gonna have to make a couple camera checks throughout this podcast just to make sure that we're running the way we're supposed to be running.
You hear a click, right? About to be a click.
Yeah. Yeah, we gone. Okay, so a lot of things have been going on recently in the wide world of conspiracy.
Gawncast.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So, I mean, just talking to you over the past couple days and the past couple weeks, I'm like, there's always something that's popping up. I'm like, damn, we gotta talk about this. Another mass shooting or something crazy, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Kaepernick, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get into the weekly music that we go over and all the other current events and goneness that's on social media. But we can address that as well. But first thing is most certainly, is this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Jeffrey Epstein, you think it's conspiracy or reality?
It's a conspiracy.
Conspiracy, right?
100% he was murdered.
Yeah, no way this motherfucker.
I have no proof. So Clintons, please don't kill me. But I think it.
You trust
it's
your
too
gut.
fishy. Yeah, it's too fishy.
Yeah.
100% it's too fishy.
This shit smells.
It smells like a fucking, like a harbor.
It smells like a BBW that hasn't taken a shower. We gone.
Yeah.
But shit.
To elaborate on that more, I mean, like, think about it. The guy, he was about to testify, right?
Yeah.
He was about to testify. This is all facts. He was about to testify. He was on suicide watch.
Yes.
In 23-hour lockdown. So he's being watched at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on suicide watch. All of a sudden, the suicide watch is not. They stopped it.
These are
and
facts.
he just killed himself.
And everything, even the facts when it comes to this situation, like we were touching on yesterday when me and you were talking, both sides can agree that this thing just stinks. And, you know, I was watching videos from Steven Crowder, who's a YouTube guy, heavy conservative. So you understand he's going to go conspiracy route. But then you even watch...
Yes.
You watch Trevor Noah in the left,
Yeah.
and he's opened up on his segment on Comedy Central saying, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
So if you tell the normal person walking down the street the facts of this story, it's easy to raise question. Because like Frank touched on, he was on suicide watch.
Got off suicide watch for no reason.
Was put off suicide watch. Was once assaulted when he was in there. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks previous to him.
I didn't even know that.
He was assaulted.
Because he's a child molester, so good for him to
Right.
get his ass beat.
Right, so he could have just been assaulted by some guy in there that's saying, hey.
Camera malfunction.
The camera malfunction
Which is
a
another
fact.
thing. Like, what?
Very strange camera malfunction. The guards that were on watch were let go early that day. 3 hours early to their shift, they were let go. And this is a report coming from the New York Times. So,
Dude, like, look at all the facts. If you had to present that in court, it'd be case closed. You wouldn't not be able to defend that.
exactly. And the thing is, once things get ruled as a suicide and they're so quickly to be ruled, you know, a lot of these things don't get opened up again. So it's up to the public to really hold court. And, you know, nothing, it's sad, there's nothing we could do, but we could have these Gawncast and try to talk about it and just try and raise the thought and say, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Do you think it's a conspiracy?
Absolutely.
So do you think the people that killed him, they got like his little black book or whatever the fuck of all his
It's
evidence?
confirmed that he has a black book.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally a little black book he has.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they got their hands on that, or like, do you know what I mean? Like all evidence is wiped away now. and now it's just back to our regularly scheduled program.
Most likely.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing that just really sucks about it, because when it comes, supposedly there's a lot of high, powerful people in powerful positions
100%.
that are implicated, that have visited his island.
100%.
Bill Clinton himself was logged on his plane 27 times.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. That has come out across media, different sources.
Come on, man.
Referring back to the New York Times, they said the guards did not check on him for 3 hours, officials said. The disclosures came as the guards and the warden at the jail were removed. So if you go to conservative, liberal, mainstream, YouTube, you go all over the place, you're hearing things that are very suspicious, and it's just like...
Very seldom will you hear all sides of the media with the same story.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think about it like that, you'll never hear the right and or the left have a same angle or same approach to a story.
Yep.
That's how you could tell that this might be true. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because most media outlets you go, you get your media from, you get your news from, are skewed to the left or to the right, whatever, depending on which company it is.
And the funny thing is, my friend John Cannon sent me a podcast about Epstein. This was a couple months ago, before this whole thing even blew up. And it was about his whole Florida sentencing, indictment, and the time he served down there. And it was a piece done by the New York Times. But he had sent this to me like, yo, listen how crazy this is, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just going to go through a quick breakdown of Jeffstein. I don't even know I'm just shortening his name.
Jeffstein.
Certain people say the allegations were made as early as 1997, that people had told officials, you gotta look into this guy, and those were ignored. In 2008, Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting sex with a minor. He was sentenced 13 months in jail as part of a so-called sweetheart deal set up by then federal prosecutor Alex Acosta. For one thing, his jail cell was left unlocked, and he was given liberal access to an attorney room where he had a TV installed per the orders of Captain Mark Chamberlain. According to the records, Epstein's stay released by the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office late last week. His reason was Epstein was too rich and unaccustomed to being in jail to be treated like a normal prisoner. So when people are saying like...
What is this, the modern day Goodfellas?
Exactly. And he was in jail 7 days a week, let out to do whatever he wanted 6 days a week, and come back at the place to sleep there at night, and 1 day a week, I guess, he wasn't allowed out.
Yeah.
So this is a so-called jail sentence that I've never even heard of before.
That's money sentence.
Yeah, and I think a lot of heat came when Trump had hired this guy, Mr. Acosta, who was the prosecutor that gave him this sentence. And Mr. Acosta, he offered a clinical explanation of the 2008 plea deal, arguing that he had overrode state authorities to ensure that Mr. Epstein would face jail time, and that holding out for a stiffer sentence or going to trial would have been a roll of the dice. So he's saying, at least I got him to do some prison time.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to hit him with a tougher sentence where his attorneys may have beat it.
Yeah.
If it went to trial, or trying to come down on him for larger charges, might not have stuck.
And people supposedly came to that judge and was like, back off him.
Exactly.
There's reports about that.
There's reports that people said, yo, this is above your pay grade.
Back off this guy. Like, it's
It's crazy.
It's 100% like conspiracy. It's 100% fact. You can call it conspiracy. I just think it's fact.
For people that don't know exactly what was going on, is he was a hedge fund guy, and multi-millionaire, and his whole thing was he was basically running a ring of prostitution with underage girls.
Yeah.
So, victims would say they were enticed to give Mr. Epstein massages in their underwear while he masturbated. Eventually, some of these girls said that he all out, raped them. And what he would do is pay these girls and pay them to go get other girls. And
that's a pimp.
And exactly, he's a pimp.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire pimp.
Pimping underage hoes.
For underage women.
Women, excuse me.
No, yeah, underage hoes. Y'all some underage hoes. And the scary part is that they had what they refer to as Pedophile Island. And that's where I think we venture into the Illuminati crazy.
Bilderberg, Skull and Bones, all that kind of shit. That is like, it's always been there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's always been passed off as like a, it's a conspiracy.
Exactly.
You're a wacko if you think about that. If you put any like serious thought into that, you know.
And from reading this smells like the conspiracy videos that we would watch on YouTube, where you just pick your head up out of a 3-hour wormhole and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. You have stubble on your face.
And you got Alex Jones like, all the high power elites are raping young girls.
The globalists are taking over.
And the humanoids.
Yeah. Buy my products.
Buy my products. Alpha male.
Yeah.
And that should make you think like, damn, maybe all this has some legitimacy.
You have to look at it as it does.
Right. Right.
There's no like denying it now.
I know. And, you know, in the words of Alex Jones, the true exposure of pedophile Allen can fold the entire house of cards on the elite. So if this thing did get exposed fully and Bill Clinton was implicated, Prince Andrew was implicated, and these people were really there and really, really doing rituals or having sex with underage girls.
Just having sex with underage girls is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Rituals are like, whatever, you can, you know.
Next level.
Yeah, that's
gone shit.
Yeah. People do all kind of ritualistic shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what kind, you know. But you have to look at it now like that.
But I mean, speaking of Alex Jones, hold on one second, we're gonna do a camera check.
You go.
We go. So do you think Alex Jones takes on this whole Jeffrey Epstein has legitimacy?
I haven't heard much from him. The most I've heard is from. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to him. I haven't followed that guy on Twitter, like, cause it leads you, cause then you start clicking shit, man. Then you get into a fucking, like we say all the time, wormhole. But
yeah,
I do think that, like, what is he saying? Just
for
that
one,
this can take down the elites or whatever. That could have taken down.
He's on the same bullshit that he's always on.
I don't know. I don't, cause this shit is gonna get swept under the rug anyways.
I know.
So even if it came out that, well, that's hard to say.
But he's saying, Alex Jones is saying he had a little black book, was reportedly talking about working with Trump's administration. He was a pin for very powerful big groups, setting up facilities in New Mexico and the Caribbean, and also had his compound in New York that got busted.
Yeah.
And you know, he's just saying obviously the whole suicide reeks, and
100% it reeks. Now is it like, I don't think it would have like destroyed the elites or whatever he thinks. I don't think so, cause they're still in power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most people don't know who the fuck, before all this shit, they don't know who the fuck Jeffrey Epstein is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How many other Jeffrey Epsteins are there? Well, people like that behind the scenes that maybe not necessarily, you know, fucking kids, but just quiet guys behind the scenes that are flying with presidents or former presidents.
Yeah.
And hanging out with them. You don't know how many of those guys there are.
That's very true. That's very
It's
true.
like 55 Epsteins.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is fishy though. The guy got murdered. All this shit happened, and he had a little black book, and
exactly.
It is fishy. You have to look at it like that.
And when it comes to, it's funny because everyone tries to drag Donald Trump into everything, but this is just a perfect example of how two different outlets will give you two different sources. So the New York Times says in 2002, Mr. Trump described Mr. Epstein as a terrific guy, telling New York Magazine, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." So this is New York Times telling you this. Now listen to the New York Post. Trump allegedly banned Epstein from his Mar-a-Lago club in West Palm Beach because Epstein sexually assaulted a girl at the club. And he was also, this is not from the Post, but from other sources, they said that, you know, he didn't like Epstein's behavior and he was an overall creepy guy.
Yeah,
they banned him from the premises.
This is just to back up, to protect their narrative.
Exactly.
Really, that's all that is.
And both sides, that's just a perfect example of the truth is always lying somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we supposed to believe?
You could have the truth, and then they'll still spin it. That's a perfect example of spinning the truth in your narrative. It's the perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit is never gonna change. That's why this Republican Democrat shit is just not even. Honestly, bro, it's like tearing people apart. It's the worst thing for the country right now. Democrats and Republicans, liberals, conservatives. It's the worst thing.
Yeah.
It is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's gotten really bad.
It's way past really bad.
Yeah.
You would think it's like 1940 or 1950s, 60s. You know what I mean?
The way how torn people are.
The way you would think it's that.
Are people really that torn? You think, or is it?
No.
Or that we're just the middle?
No, I think that
middle America in the middle class and in the middle of the road between right and left. There's no voice.
Well, the middle class is fucking disappearing. It's basically fucking.
I know, but I'm just saying overall, is there a voice for the normal American?
No, but I don't necessarily think there has to be a voice. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that, like, I don't know, man. It's tough. Is there a voice? I'm trying to think of somebody. It's hard because people get into groups, like people like if you, like, they band together around shit that they may not necessarily believe, but they're like, they're scared to say that. Like, I know people who are Trump supporters who won't tell people that they're Trump supporters.
Right.
And these people are not racist people. They're not pieces of shit or assholes or whatever. But they don't want to be. They're scared to say who they support because they're.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's. I don't know, man.
And I think that there's people that just want to believe someone or follow someone or put their support behind someone, and it's just like that guy just doesn't exist.
Yeah, nah.
It's like even looking at the other side of the aisle and you looking at these Democrats, it's like, who the fuck you guys gonna really throw out there?
Warren is the person that they're throwing out there. Warren and Biden.
Handsy Joe?
Yeah, Handsy Joe. Handsy Joe.
Handsy stuttering Joe.
You think there's a voice? Do you have anyone in mind?
Nah, I think this is the voice. The Gawncast.
Yeah.
I think that it's people that have their own little mini platforms that are trying to say, hey, what the fuck? I don't believe this shit and I don't believe that shit. And that's why it gets people to the point where they create their own podcast, where they write their own blogs, and post their own shit online.
But we're still in like if I tell people I don't vote or I won't vote, and people look at you like, what?
Same with me. Like I'm doing a fucking injustice.
Like, it's your right to vote. Yeah, it's my right not to vote too, dickhead.
Exactly.
I don't have to vote. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
because if you vote, then you're just endorsing something, and people are like, oh, pick the lesser of the two evils. And what the fuck is that?
What does that mean?
The fuck does that mean?
It's like either hey, drink this cup of piss or eat this pile of shit. Pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that shit. I don't want anything. Thank you. I'll pass on the piss.
How about I do neither and then make fun of both of you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because especially like a lot of times I'll get caught up in political discussions, and it's like I don't really identify with either side, and I wind up arguing with both sides.
Yes.
And it pisses me off.
And they both look at you like, if you're arguing with a Trump supporter, they're like, well, you're a Hillary supporter.
Right.
And if you're arguing with a Democrat, they're like, well, you fucking love Trump.
Exactly.
And if they don't say that, secretly in their head, they're thinking, wow, this guy's like not
right
against me. They won't even say it.
Right, if I argue with a liberal and I'm like, yo,
you.
that shit is crazy.
They're judging you.
Liberals are so crazy nowadays. Everything that you just said, I don't really fuck with. They're like, wow, this guy's a racist Trump supporter.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're white.
Yeah.
If you're white and you question anything a liberal says, you're automatically a racist and a bigot.
Dude, it's the other way around too. Because even sometimes I post memes and it's like, it gets bad because they're like, dude, are you hate the fact that you're white? And if I call something out that especially with like social injustice, even with these shooters recently, most of them are white kids.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with saying that?
Yeah.
And I saw a funny meme. It's like, all right, if the shooter's Muslim, then there's gonna be more bans. If it's Mexican, we're gonna have better borders. If he's white, it's just carry on. You know,
it is true.
And it's a fact. That's not nothing to be ashamed of when you're white. That's just pointing out like, wow.
Well, that's another thing. Like, people are like,
And what the fuck? Why can't we say, I'm a perfect example of, yeah, there should be some type of gun limitations. Like, we shouldn't have weapons that could kill people in seconds.
Yeah. You don't need that.
I don't know the specifics of this shit. But at the same time, if you ask me the resolution to this, it would be more guns. It would be put people in security at shopping malls. Put security at every school. Why? Because you're employing people and you're having people there that are on site to maybe stop these fucking, sick people.
Yeah.
And if you honestly really want to know my personal opinion, when these kids get arrested, shoot them in the face on live television.
Yeah.
Don't make these kids martyrs.
Don't say their names.
And I don't care if they're white, I don't care if they're Asian, black, Mexican, whatever extremist you are, you're getting shot in the face on live television.
Yeah.
Because what court do we have to hold that everyone just saw you slaughter?
Yeah, what 50, how are you defending yourself? What do you
Why do they get due process?
Claiming insanity?
Fuck that.
Yeah. If you're
Make an example. The next kid that's sitting home writing his manifesto, he might be like, yo.
Yeah, it'll 100% deter somebody from doing some shit like that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's just another sad thing. But let's move into other news. Do a quick camera check and talk about some other things that are. And what else, man? What else you been thinking about?
I mean,
Jay-Z, is he a piece of shit for taking the offer?
Absolutely not.
I concur.
There is I wish we could post a link here, but there is a clip on Marcellus Wiley and what's that show that he does?
Yeah, that's the show on FS1 with Jason Whitlock.
Yeah. Who, I kind of don't really fuck with that dude Whitlock for the most part. But it's called Speak for Yourself. Is that the name of the show? Yeah. And they had just a quote that Marcellus Wiley had. Kaepernick comes from a situation where he never felt the full weight of the injustices. This is a mixed race guy who was raised by a white family from Wisconsin to Central California. Respect. That doesn't disqualify you from talking for us. But when you make missteps and miscalculations, it comes back into play. Now this is a thought process that you don't normally hear.
Right.
Specifically in the media.
Mainstream
television. When I saw that, I was like, whoa. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting, and especially on the outside looking in, obviously we can't relate to exactly what they're talking about. But from looking at it, it was interesting and it was eye-opening. And I thought the most eye-opening thing was the way that they said, most of the people on the show, I think, agreed with, where was he doing this when he was in the Super Bowl? Like, where was all this previously?
Yeah.
And
he wasn't doing this until he lost his starting job. Or until things started going sour, and until he started dating Nessa, who Marcellus Wiley implied a few times that she's basically got her hand, like a puppet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's basically
that she was the one planting the seeds and kind of running her.
He's alluding to that. He alludes to that. But I don't know much about Nessa, so I can't really speak.
Yeah, I don't know, but too much in depth.
I don't know how long she's been on the social justice warrior stuff.
Right.
So, but like I said, it was an interesting take that you don't really see a lot, and I think I kind of agreed with a lot of what he was saying.
Should Colin Kaepernick be mad at Jay-Z?
I don't think anyone should be mad at Jay-Z. If you're a player, like Kenny Stills said something that he hasn't kneeled or something. Kenny Stills said something. I forget what his.
Kenny, you need to stand still.
He's a wide receiver for the Dolphins. He basically, I don't have the quotes, but he's basically disagreeing with what Jay-Z is doing, saying he's not the one kneeling. And it's just like, first of all, you're getting paid by the NFL.
Right.
So he made a deal with the NFL. To further along the process to further along their agenda, which is social justice reform. Listen, criminal justice reform.
If you ask me,
a lot of shit.
It's funny because Des Bryant, your boy.
Love Dez. Dope the X, son.
You're fucking both over there.
I love Dez.
Had pointed out that they both took the bag. Kaepernick had a settlement where everything was undisclosed. We don't know what was said, what happened, how much money he took. But he definitely took money and made a settlement with the NFL. Now, Jay-Z took money from the NFL. So this is not about a money thing, because they're both, they're both making sure that their pockets are filled. Now, shit, man, thinking about the whole subject, like I was saying yesterday, from the beginning, the whole Kaepernick thing was not handled the right way by the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And
no. Marcellus Wiley said something about fucking Jay-Z. Basically Jay-Z's taking the baton from whatever Kaepernick started.
Right.
Because he even said, like, he's been faceless, Kaepernick.
Yes. That's what I wanted to get to in my point.
He's been faceless. And Jay-Z's basically taking the baton and saying, all right, you did what you did, but nothing's going on right now.
Right.
It's just business as usual. So Jay-Z's a fucking power player. Bottom line, he's a fucking big boy. He comes to fucking play, and he knows, and he's smart as fuck.
The whole time, like,
he's smarter than all of them. It's not even close.
I agree with that. And a lot of the time, like throughout, the past couple of years, I just question Kaepernick's like true intentions as far as not as far as what did he want to bring awareness to, because we all know that, but what did he want to do? Because it seemed like once he brought all the awareness and he had the attention and he
played it up.
And he became probably one of the most polarizing figures in all of media, he didn't really take the stage and say things or give messages or hop live on a video or go on someone's show and on different interviews or go on television I know he sent out tweets, but I don't really know what
tweets?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't really know what his true intentions were. Like, where do you take this now? And that's not to say I know that him and Jay-Z have both done things to further their cause financially, to support different charity groups, to support different organizations that could help, with injustice and with police brutality and reform.
Yeah.
But do you want to play football? I don't know. I didn't know that because there was always rumors that there's backup jobs available for Kaepernick.
Yeah. He didn't want to be a backup. There's no way he wanted to be a backup. But
that's my thing. It's like, all right, so after you led this whole campaign with the kneeling, now what? Do you want to come back and play football or not? Do you want to continue to do your thing and promote and keep discussing all the injustices and everything that you did so far? Like Jay-Z said, all right, now we know. Now where does it go?
Yeah. He made a perfect example. He asked somebody in the crowd, do you know why he kneeled? And they answered.
Right.
Boom. So the awareness is there. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's with anything.
Right.
That's with anything.
Yeah. And I was always indecisive with the whole thing from the beginning when people asked me.
I never had a problem with him kneeling. Ever.
My thing was I was just disappointed with the way the narrative got deflected and skewed.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot has to do with the NFL, because from the beginning, the NFL could have said, listen, this is why he's kneeling, as he's told people, because the American flag stands for a lot of different things. When I think of the American flag, it stands for people that have died for this country, sacrificed their lives for our freedom to make this the greatest country in the world. I also think about America wouldn't have grown so quick if it wasn't for the economy that we had through slavery.
Yeah. And
we have a lot of blood on our hands as a country.
Exactly.
So when the American flag encompasses
a bunch of things.
All of that.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's kneeling during the national anthem. Now I understand people being pissed off because people were told he doesn't support the troops. He's disrespecting the troops. And immediately that became the conversation. So I think a lot of it was deflection. A lot of it was turning people against each other, separating people, saying, oh, you hate him or you love him. Instead of actually having a conversation that, no, this is actually what he's trying to talk about.
The NFL helped create the divide. Yeah.
If I'm the NFL throughout that whole time, listen, I'm sure it's easier said than done. I say to him, listen, we're going to call a press conference. We're going to bring this thing to a head and try and resolve this matter. And why don't you and the Players Association pick some families like Eric Garner's family and raise money. You raise 10 million, we'll match it, and we'll say, listen, social injustice and police brutality.
We'll take a stand for it.
We'll take a stand for that. We'll support you financially. However, in that same press conference, you come out and say, I did not mean to disrespect the troops. That was never my intention. My intention was this, which I'm sure he said before, but do it in a press conference hand in hand with the NFL and say, I'm not going to continue kneeling as long as the NFL also acknowledges my point.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a resolution, and it would have cleared things up instead of having people online posting fucking memes, screaming at each other, ripping each other in posts. It's just fucking ridiculous.
It's tough for anyone to look at to have a problem with anybody who served in the military. If you served in the military and they had a problem with him kneeling, it's tough for you to like disagree with them.
Exactly.
Because like you didn't sacrifice your life willingly to go overseas to be a veteran.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like I have the ultimate respect for people who do that.
Yeah.
Because you have the choice.
Exactly.
In other countries, you are forced to join their army.
I know.
You have the choice to say, I'm not going to the fucking army, or Marines, or Navy, or Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the ultimate respect for people who are in our armed forces.
Absolutely, you can't say it better. I don't think anyone disagree with it.
So, but I just also didn't have a problem with him kneeling. If that's the way you look at it, because even a Navy SEAL came out and was like, who did disagree with him, but he had a cordial conversation with him, and that's how they came up with the kneel. Because at first he wasn't standing; he was just sitting on the bench, Kaepernick.
Oh.
And then he met with a SEAL, a former Navy SEAL who suggested taking a knee.
See, I didn't even know that.
And that is, I'll try to find the guy's name, but that's how the kneeling came about, and that's when I was like, okay, you know what? If a Navy SEAL who originally disagreed with him, or had any kind of issue with him, I don't think it was that big. Like, he wasn't like mad at Kaepernick, but he was just like, yo, you could do it differently.
Right.
And they came up with the kneeling.
Right.
So that's why I really never had an issue with the kneeling. It was like, okay, a Navy SEAL was like,
right.
Boom.
I think one of the things that Marcellus Wiley said that was cool, he was like, you don't have to speak for us monolithically, or we don't have to speak for each other monolithically, meaning like there's different ways to achieve our goals. You know what I mean? It doesn't all have to be, oh, if you do this, you don't represent that, and if you do that, you don't represent this, and you're a sellout, you're Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of interesting. I just thought it was a really good segment that they did.
Retired Army Green Beret Nate Boyer is the first man who convinced Colin Kaepernick to kneel. So that's who it was. It was a Green Beret guy.
Raspberry.
What's his name? George Carlin. Like, I just like this View shit.
That's your boy.
Yeah, and not because a lot of shit that he says in his stand up, it rings true, all the time.
Absolutely,
it rings true. It like from back then to now, and this is like the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It rings true to now. Like, you're born in America, you're given a ticket to the freak show, man. You should fucking enjoy that shit, because you're not gonna change it.
How many times have I said to you in our personal conversations, it's crazy because the people I agree with the most in America are comedians.
Yeah, yeah. Whether it's that or it's
whether it's Bill Burr, whether it's Patrice O'Neal,
women and all that. Yeah.
Whether it's Andrew Schultz.
Because I think
Joe Rogan, who's technically a comedian.
Yeah, he is a comedian. That's
like, why do we have to go online to listen to comedians to hear the most logical?
But comedians
reasoning?
Think about what a comedian is. A comedian is they're trying to make other people happy.
Right.
And they have their thought process is like they have to think of all different kinds of ways. Any way they can to make you laugh is what they're going to do. And they have it's just throughout history they have this their thought process is like unmatched.
And they're trying to make sense
of a guy like
stupid ass shit.
Yeah, like Doug Stanhope's another one who's like he's funny. He has a great thought process. It's just comedians in general.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with him. I gotta check his shit out. Stanhope.
Doug Stanhope.
Stanhope. Yeah, but it's funny. I feel like Joe Rogan's platform has become the place of reason, especially when you got guys like Elon Musk going on there. Especially, I mean, Joe Rogan has everyone on his show.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He gets like people tend to think he's like a conservative, or whatever, because he has conservatives on.
Really?
Yeah, people. He says it all the time. He's like, yo, people like think I'm some like right wing guy. You know why? Because he's a liberal because he'll say he's a liberal, but he hunts and shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like a manly man, like liberals look at that and they see like a hunter and they see, oh, he's a Republican. Blah, 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 blah. That's the thought process of people. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the thought process.
And if Joe Rogan created his own party, I'd be the first to sign up for that shit.
Well, there's a petition that I actually signed it to have him moderate and host a debate.
Really?
Yeah, on change.com or something like that.
Wow.
And I think Andrew Yang tweeted it.
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang Gang. I fuck with Andrew Yang, bro. Even though I think he has no shot, but
100%. I really, really enjoy just listening to him speak. I feel like
my
smart. Brain cells are growing. Yeah. From all the fucking damage of all these spiked seltzers that I've been drinking this summer, I feel like I listened to Andrew Yang podcast and they all grew back in about 15 minutes.
It's like watching Lethal Shooter videos.
Yeah.
Every time I watch that guy's videos,
I feel like I can go out and...
I feel like my shooting percentage jumps 5% just by watching his video. He's the fucking man, that guy.
I know.
I watch his videos and it's nothing but swish.
When I listen to Gilbert Arenas' podcast, I literally feel like I can go out there and get buckets on anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, yeah, I just gotta go hit the gym and yada yada.
Oh yeah, I could do this. Then you step on the court and you're like, I don't even think I can play right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, but that kind of circles back to what I was talking about before when do we have a voice and do people have a voice? And I think that's the exact reason why Joe Rogan is so big. Is because this is the voice. Like it's podcast.
Yeah, honestly, his name, when you said that, his name popped in my head.
When he was talking to Bernie Sanders, he had brought it up. Why don't we have all the candidates have a debate on YouTube?
Yeah.
Because then we don't have to worry about ads. We don't have to worry about time constraints.
Yes, that's the big thing.
He was like, how much can you really say in 30 seconds? And how much can people really know about you? And whether they can make a judgment to vote about you.
Yeah, and Bernie was like, it's not even fair. It's not good. And I think most of them would agree with that.
And he was talking about how you just really have to create sound bites. Which is sad because that's probably the reason why he's still up there yelling.
Yeah.
He's just trying to create a soundbite.
Really,
Wall Street!
His lobbyists. Corporate. But no, Joe Rogan's name did pop up because it's like he has so many people from different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's had Crowder on. He's had Ben Shapiro on.
Right.
He's had people from the right and people from the left.
Yeah.
And he has scientists on. He has fucking doctor. Like, dude, he like the range of guests that he has.
Yeah.
On is like unfathomable. On what platform can you get that?
That's what I'm saying.
On what platform can you get somebody who interviews for? And they're not all great interviews.
No, yeah.
You know, sometimes it's not. I can't. You know, but it is what it is. But he still has people on.
Mm-hmm. Damn, his Bernie Sanders podcast almost has 10 million views.
9.3 million.
I don't know what the average media show does a night or does in a week, but there's no way it's probably
near that. No way the amount. Can you check the amount of views he has? About? Is he gonna go to the
overall?
About? Yeah. Let's see this.
Oh my god.
What number is that? Is that a real number?
Yeah, it's 1,456,000,000. So he's only almost at 1.5 billion views.
And I feel like that's like, and he has how many podcasts?
He's got
1337.
Yeah.
1,337 plus 76 with the MMA. Is it 1336? 1337 and
oh, right. The MMA show he does separately.
1337 plus 76 is 1,400.
And
videos.
he has a lot of comedians. That's probably what he's known most for, to bring on the
Yeah,
show.
and they're comedians. The comedians that go on here, their fucking fan base jumps up after they come on here.
Right.
Like the Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz talked about it. The Joe Rogan effect is real.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah, how all his numbers.
Joe Rogan is the fucking man. Bottom line, Joe Rogan for president.
Facts. Joe Rogan.
Or Elon Musk for president.
Shit.
Elon the God.
What were we talking about yesterday when we got into you talking about when we were talking about making beats? And like originally, oh, I know what started it. So I just want to thank a lot of people that reached out in comments and in direct messages, Instagram, and all that. A lot. I was just kind of like, damn, there's a lot of kids that make beats. Like so many people are like, dude, I make beats. I'm a producer. I make beats. I make beats. I make beats. I make beats. And like half the people that reach out to me were people that make beats, and which is dope. And it's incredible just to see how many people make music now, and it's a plus, I think, overall. Yeah. But I had brought the point, like, when I had originally met you, dude, no one made beats. Yeah. You know how hard it was to find somebody that fucking made beats?
It wasn't common. It was like one person in my high school that made beats, and it was me.
Dude, that was the reason I met you, because I heard you made beats.
Yeah.
Because through a friend of a friend that was like, yo, my boy makes beats.
A friend I basically know since like kindergarten.
Exactly.
Went to high school with you.
And it's just kind of crazy because back then there was like not that many people. The only other person I really knew was Danny G, and then one other friend, but he wasn't as serious about it. And so now just to get bombarded after you post one video with people that make beats, it's just kind of like, whoa.
It's like it's the game. It's changed. It's like you said, for the most part, I think it's a good thing. You know, but there's a lot of people that like that make it, or quote unquote make it, or have records that you'll never see them again. Yeah. Like it's shit like the guy Tekashi. Right. Like we don't need that guy. Nah, we don't need you. We don't need that guy. It's like it's a clear. Like it felt like somebody wrote him in a movie. Like let's get rainbow hair on this fucking guy. Right. Let's make him a gang member. Let's and have him say literally no filter. He says anything goes, and he's trying to come off as a gangster, and he's really just not.
That's how it is with a lot of artists and a lot of labels. What I don't get is they rather make a 2-year investment in people like that are only gonna have 2-year careers, rather than make a 10-year investment and try and find. Like when has been
the artist development there is none.
It's literally been over 10 years now, almost, since we've seen that last generation of people that have came up, and that's Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Big Sean, Wale, people that have had 10-year careers. Yeah. So why not put your investment in them? Because it's probably going to repay you more. But they want quick flips. They just want something that looks, they're going to do the views, they're going to do the numbers, pump and dump.
It's really what it is.
It's almost like a Bitcoin.
Market.
It's like a fucking
stock market,
You're going to be here and you're going to be gone.
You go. Like Fetty Wap.
Yeah. Probably another good example.
Fetty Wap had the 2-3 hit records, and he hasn't come out with a song since, or hasn't had a hit since. Now, a hit record is so fucking hard. Yeah. Even in today's day.
So many things have to just go right.
Yeah, it has to. Even in today's day. Like, it's like, what Lil Nas X, what he did is like, that's
I almost feel bad for him because he's just gonna be.
You can't live up to that.
Maybe I'm wrong, but he's just gonna be in a situation where he's just never gonna be able to.
You cannot live up to that.
To touch what he did.
And is he gonna be a one-hit wonder? Because I haven't heard another song from him.
He seems like he might be a little smarter than the average, though.
I haven't found. Yeah, I haven't heard no interviews or anything, so I can't really judge. But you know. There's just so many one-hit wonders out there. That like being an artist is hard to have like a real career.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you also get lost with how the ability of how easy it is to make things. All of a sudden, everyone's a producer. All of a sudden, everyone's a rapper.
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you wanted to be a producer back then, it's like you had to either save up a lot of money, invest, buy an MPC, or you had to figure out how to get a cracked version. And I remember you telling the story to me yesterday of how the first version of Fruity Loops that you had,
Fruity Loops 3, I think it was.
it didn't save the beat.
So we had a demo version. So we had a demo version of Fruity Loops which you can't save. They give you all the plugins, they give you, all their sound kit, drum kits and everything. They give you everything. But you just can't save.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a Timbaland beat on there. Dude, they had a Timbaland beat on there. I'm trying to fucking remember it now. Fuck, I have to get back to you on that. But they had it as a demo song.
Oh,
they had a Timbaland beat made on there, and I think it was made on Fruity Loops. They had it like, I was like, wow, I'm gonna ask Tim right now.
But I was laughing because you were like, we're making it on the family desktop, and you had to tell people and leave notes on the computer, don't turn it off.
Yeah. So because we couldn't save the beat, so we had to leave the beat up for however long until we finished mixing it and finished putting it together, whatever, and then we would export it. And then once we exported it, we'd have to like double check, like, all right, is this what we want? Right. We have to close the program, and then we have to make another beat.
Yeah.
To make another beat, we had to close the program, obviously.
It's crazy. Kids don't know how they have it now.
Yeah.
They don't.
And then we got the cracked version, and that was it. So, yeah, man. And Fruity Loops used to get, like I said, people used to hate on Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have an MPC or hardware, you weren't, like, it was just like the old school guys being old school,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like my father listening to hip-hop today. He's like, what is that shit? I like oldies. You know what I mean? It's just what it is.
Like Tim Mitchell when he's golfing.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I think it's a overall good thing though that anyone can make music. You can make music anywhere, and because you know what happens, man. A lot of times people that are doing that, people who are fucking broke, and they all of a sudden they have a fucking hit record, and now they could feed their family and shit. Like, that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Is people can just, like Lil Nas X, didn't he post like he had like he had like no money in his bank account, or make negative money in his bank account, and now all of a sudden he's touring the world. There's a #1 hit for fucking 19 weeks or whatever it is. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, good for him, dude.
One of the things that kind of bugged me out, this kid DM'd me and he was like, yo, how did you get the courage, or how do you not care what people think about you? Like, he's like, I'm thinking about starting out and rapping. And to me, I was like, oh, he's probably a young kid and generally just curious, but it made me think like, damn, just the way things are set up now, is this kid's gonna have to be however old he is now, put up a video there, and people are gonna comment, people are gonna hate. And I was like, dude, when I was doing this, it wasn't a video. Like, you had to literally go out in the street,
people,
rap in front of people, live human beings, in ciphers, whether they're a cafeteria,
and be judged on the spot in person.
Whether they're at a local hangout, no matter where they were, you'd be judged by a crowd of people. And I think that that's what brought hip-hop its kind of raw purity, and that's what part of being an artist or part of being a rapper was, is like, dude, you have full faith in yourself and you have the courage and that don't give a fuck. You got balls. You gotta go do your thing. And that's it. No matter how it turns out, people are gonna judge you, people are gonna love you, people are gonna hate you.
That's with anything. It's not just with rap. Because right now he's probably, I'll have to like look at, like, you take a page out of Gary Vaynerchuk shit. You're probably thinking about the people that you know judging you the most. If you're someone that, like,
right.
If you, like,
I never thought of that.
If I'm not a rapper and we're just friends that we grew up together, I don't make beats, you never know me make music, I would kind of feel some way like is Kenny gonna think I'm like trying to be like him, or, do you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
That's probably what he's thinking. He's probably thinking like, damn, my mom's gonna judge me, or my friends are gonna
That's
judge
true.
me, or
That's
my
true.
girl's gonna judge me. Because most of the time, people don't really give a fuck what other people think. It's really like your circle. It's really like most people are looking at like what their circle is gonna think of them. More of
Well, my
some
message to
random
him
guy on the
was obvious, but I was like, listen, when you do this, it's only gonna help you in every other facet of your life. No matter what it is.
If it's what you
And
really want.
Music has taught me so many different things, whether it's resilience, whether it's, to always have confidence and
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do it, do it.
To do shit like this, to talk in front of a camera.
That's true. Sometimes it blows me away because I'll always hop on a story and say some dumb shit, and a lot of people I know do, but it always makes me think of like, damn, there's mad kids that won't even do that, and especially females are super insecure.
Yeah.
They don't even, like, how often do you see even the most beautiful women on Instagram don't want to speak?
Yeah. Yeah. Or they won't like...
Or they'll laugh, like...
Yeah. It's just...
It's like, damn, are you really that?
Yeah. But social media, well, that's why people think social media is bad. In that sense, I don't know.
Or girls that take snap and then shut the volume off and because they don't want to like the sound of their voice
or something. Yeah.
Some crazy shit.
No one loves the sound of their voice, dude. You know what I mean? It's always weird hearing yourself on. But
I've heard it for so. I mean, the first time that I experienced that, I was literally 12 years old. That was like when I first recorded a rap. I was 12 years old and I heard my voice. I was like, my voice sounds weird.
That's what I sound like, yeah.
'Cause 6 months later, I never thought of that in fucking another 15 years.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so it's like...
You just gotta get over that hump of you just gotta
go
do
fucking
it.
do it,
You
bro.
gotta do it. If it's really what you want, it's gonna make you happy in the end. You're gonna look at it, you're gonna look back at it and be like, hey, shit, I did what I wanted to do.
100%. That's my thing. It's like, there's one life to live, so you're really gonna be that old motherfucker. You're gonna look like the dude in the Green Mile, walking around with the little mouse, and thinking about the life that just passed you by in front of your eyes. Like, damn, I should have.
You just gotta fucking do it, man. You gotta whatever you want.
Should have asked that girl out in 8th grade.
Yeah, yeah. You just gotta do it. Most of the time, on the other the shit that you're scared of, once you do it, you're like, damn, I was scared of that.
With most things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, anything that you're scared of, as soon as you do it, you're like, why was I scared of that?
Right? That's the best feeling. Always like run out of your comfort zone.
It's like, it is. It's
always
weird.
have to do that.
You know?
Always have to do that.
I never had that problem with music.
Yeah.
I guess it's because the way we grew up, or how we got the music game wasn't oversaturated. Because it wasn't like I make beats, yeah. I wasn't self-conscious about
And getting on stage is always something
that's tough.
Yeah, it is. That's not really though.
I know.
It's easy for me to say because I've done it.
That's what I'm saying.
But you still, and I'm not gonna act like for most get butterflies people, when you first walk up.
Yeah,
there. You do.
For most people.
That's a natural human instinct. But I think that those go away as soon as you start doing your thing for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the greatest tools that I've been given because I'm a laid back person. A lot of people know me calm, cool, easygoing. Whether you call me introvert, I don't know a technical term, but fuck.
When there's a mic.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. When there's something, I'm gonna do it.
You're not gonna shy away from it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that I'm just proof that anyone could do it. Then I'm like, shit. If I could do this shit, I can do this shit. Yeah. There's nothing that special about me.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing. Well, there's something special about all of us, but
Right. True.
But you're thinking way too much into it. Just do this shit, man. Just fucking do it. Period. That's what you should send them a clip of that. Of us talking to him.
I will. I'm gonna post this shit up. DM this motherfucker. Yeah, man. So it's the first while back that we've been here. We're coming up almost on an hour's time. It's good that we started with a lot of negative things this podcast, but we've kind of
ended it on a positive note.
Or ending and segueing into some
want to go
uplifting
to the gym or something.
And then the plan is to come to you guys and bring you new episodes on Spotify, on Apple Music.
As many times as we can.
Exactly. We're not even going to set any regular dates. We're just going to promise you that it's probably going to be at least once a week. And
we're not being held back by the man anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Gypsy.
Shout out to Gypsy.
Shout out to everyone at Zadaza that gave us.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man.
That gave us the opportunity ever since 2010. When did we first start podcasting?
Dude, 2010. It had to have been when they were at their first location.
Yeah. Shout out to Papa who used to podcast with
us. We need to get him as a guest, dude.
I know.
Honestly, that should be the first guest.
Shout out to Pa, man.
That should be the first guest.
I felt bad. I was gonna go see his artist perform in Brooklyn 2 weeks ago, and I sprained my ankle like the day before.
Oh shit!
And I haven't been in touch with him since. So shout out to Pa. We definitely want you on here as one of our first guests. And yeah, man. You know, it's funny now that we're doing this in 2019, but you may think we're new to this shit, but we're true to this shit.
We've been doing this shit for so long.
It's a fact.
It goes to show you consistency is key.
Exactly.
Because if we were consistent, we'd
probably be much bigger than we are.
We wouldn't be in the basement in the Bronx right now.
Yeah. But we will be coming live to you from the basement in the Bronx. This is the Gawncast.
BX, son.
And
we gone?
We gone.
We gone.